Greetings, beloved elite love lords and lordettes of the divine diamond light. Christ consciousness shift. Back with another video. This one is continuing from yesterday's. It's Mercury Day. In English, we call it Wednesday. But the codes are in the Latin languages, French, and I can't remember the Spanish version. But in French, they say Mercredi, which has the Mercury in it, and that identifies the planet of the day, Mercury. This day resonates with me a lot because I'm a Mercury child. Yeah, the zodiac sign I am is ruled by the planet Mercury. And Mercury is always closest to the sun. What else? The deity associated with Mercury are Thoth and Hermes. Hermes is known as the messenger of the gods. So those that have strong Mercuries, they be like the messengers, the ones that come with the messages. So yeah, it's a Mercury day today, so this day resonates with my energy very much. And what does Mercury govern? Thinking and communication. This is why I have my blue stones, the light blue stones, that resonate with the throat chakra, dealing with communication. And also they they deal with reading and writing, and yeah, obviously a lot of subjects to do with the mind. So yeah, the messenger of the gods, that's Mercury energy. Find out where Mercury is in your chart. Those are the important kind of, well, I wouldn't say any planet is not important, but the main is, especially if you're dealing with partnerships and stuff, looking at comparing charts for partnerships and stuff, I would say check out the Sun, Moon, Venus, Mars, and Mercury. Those are very significant to how people will relate in partnership circumstances. So, as it's Mercury Day, I'm feeling to do a little bit of reading because it governs reading and writing and stuff like that. And first up, I want to read up on Judas, because I read up on Judas, like sometimes I just open the book, the Bible sometimes, not to just read it like a book, but sometimes it gives inspiration. Like, it is a spiritual book at the end of the day, but in religion it's used to suppress consciousness, believe it or not, because there's a lot of stories in there that are told in ways to program your mind to think and believe a certain way, which is kind of unnatural. Yeah, I've covered those stories before, but let me get out this Judas story. I'm gonna read it, yeah? It's Judas having remorse for setting up Christ. And it goes, now when the morning came, all the chief priests and the elders of the people conferred together against Jesus to put him to death. And they bound him and led him away and delivered him to Pilate the governor. Then, when Judas, who had betrayed him, saw that he had been condemned. He felt remorse and returned the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priests and elders. So, Judas got 30 pieces of silver for setting up Christ, which is his own kind of teacher, Messiah, someone he used to hang around with, someone that he's meant to be on the same vibration with, well, similar to. But he ended up taking 30 pieces of silver and hand over his brother to the authorities, because no one didn't know where to find Christ. It's only through his own people. This is how betrayal is prevalent when it comes to a lot of the light warriors. I tell you this, no lie, a lot of the light warriors that ended up getting taken down is because of betrayal from the inside of their own camp. I feel it's the same for Brother Bobby Hemmett, even though there's not much word about his disappearance and stuff. It just kind of disappeared, you know what I mean? So, but I'll tell you that a lot of the brothers and sisters of the light that have been taken down is by people within their own circles, within their own kind of movements and stuff. People get offered money to betray their own friends and family even. It's meant to be a very a ritual that is going on in the industries, where people sacrifice people that they actually have a good connection with in order to pledge allegiance to the dark. And but yeah, basically he had remorse, ran with the money, the 30 pieces of silver, and took it back to the chief priests and the elders, saying, I have sinned by betraying innocent blood. But they said, what is that to us? See to that yourself. So they didn't take back the money. It's like his guilt is nothing to do with them. And what does it say there? It said, and he threw the pieces of silver into the temple sanctuary and departed, and he went away and hung himself. Like, that's kind of deep, to regret what you done so bad, to actually take yourself out. But you should know about karma. If you hang around with the Christ energy, they know about the divine laws and all of that stuff. It's not new. This is ancient. You know what I mean? So, yeah, him coming back to the elders to offer money back, to try and undo what he done, like, it made me giggle a little bit, you know what I mean? And the people that it's like they got the Christ, they're going to do whatever they want to do with him. Like, we paid. And let me read on anyway, because I read that bit and it was kind of surprising to me. Not that I haven't heard it before, but yeah, the fact that he's offered the money back and they've shut it down, that kind of made me think about it a little bit. But let me read on. The chief priest took the pieces of silver and said, it is not lawful to put them into the temple treasury, since it is the price of blood. And they conferred together and with the money bought the potter's field as a burial place for strangers. So that amount of money, that 30 pieces of silver, was enough to buy a plot of land. So I think it might have been a lot of money that he was offered to betray his people. So that was interesting. But I read up on something else today because I was looking for Judas today. I was like, let me read up on this Judas character again because I just had that feeling to just kind of go back over the situations of betrayal and stuff because it's relevant right now. So anyway, I came across, before I found the Judas bit, I came across Phariseeism. Yeah? Pharisaism, that's it, Pharisaism exposed. And here what it says, then Jesus spoke to the crowds and his disciples, saying, the scribes and the Pharisees have seated themselves in the chair of Moses. Therefore, all that they tell you, do and observe, but do not do according to their deeds. For they say things and do not do them. And that was like, the Pharisees having a lot of talk about what they're gonna do, having all of these gifts and stuff like that, leading the people. Because what was Moses? Moses was like a leader. He leaded all of the people, supposedly God's people, out of Egypt, out of suffering and stuff, towards where? The promised land. And then that made me want to go back to read up on Moses, because it says the things that they, what does it say? For they say things and do not do them. And then we go back to quickly read up on the last bit of Moses. And it's the end of Deuteronomy if you're wondering where to find this. As it goes, the death of Moses, 34, Deuteronomy 34. Now, Moses went up from the plains of Moab to the Mount Nebo, to the top of Pisgah, blah 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 blah. This is all of the lands that he could see. And the Negev, and the plain in the valley of Jericho, the city of palm trees, as far as Zohar. Then the Lord said to him, this is the land which I swore to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, saying, I will give it to your descendants. And I have let you see it with your eyes, but you shall not go over there. So Moses, the servant of the Lord, died there in the land of Moab according to the word of the Lord. So Moses never reached the promised land. And that's kind of like, this is how this book has got these parables in there, where it kind of talks about things, people having these promises of being able to do this and being able to do that, but they don't accomplish it. Even Moses, which I don't even believe actually happened, but the story is there as a parable, giving you the insights that a lot of people are going to come through with promises and leave a lot of people with these promises and not being able to deliver. And it goes, And he buried him in the valley in the land of Moab opposite Beth Peor, but no man knows his burial place to this day. No, like he had the whole Israelite family of God following him. Man went to the mountain and no one don't know. No one didn't look for him. Man just anyway, it's just a story. But that's how the patterns in these books, especially that bit when it's talking about the Phariseeism exposed, they're sitting in the seat of Moses, leading loads of people in the name of God with these promises, but they don't do it. And then you read up on the Moses, and he's saying, yeah, he's leading people to the promised land and the milk and honey and all of that stuff. They don't reach. Moses didn't reach. All of the magic that he showed in Egypt, power of God and all that stuff, he didn't reach. But obviously it says, like in the previous bit, he upset God because he tapped the stone and made the water come out without asking God's permission. Like when God showed him how to do it, he done it was okay, but then when the Israelites got thirsty, he done it again, he done the magic again without God's permission. God got upset about that. Like these kind of programs, man. But I wouldn't say throw these books, throw your Bible away. Don't. Like they have a lot of significant knowledge in there, and if you're able to decipher the light in there, because it has to be in there, it's coded sometimes, but it has to have light in there for it to be relevant. And this is how those people that do the magic know how to keep stories hidden in plain sight, so they can teach people real magic from the Bible when the pastors are teaching, well, manipulating people's mind to not really understand God at all, but to be followers and all of that stuff. You know what I mean? So that was it for my Mercury Day message. Yeah, I would say I would say grey. Grey is associated with Mercury. It's a very grey day today. And the light blue, the throat chakra, dealing with communication and thinking and stuff. So yeah, some reading, probably writing, and yeah, even probably give yourself some time to think about things properly and thoroughly, so you know what choices to make and things like that. Alright, family, until the next message, leave y'all in peace, love, oneness, all men. So be it.